Good luck.
Things are starting to heat up.
Quit dinking around, Cliff. We're heading into the asteroid.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Star Fox 64. In the last, we finished off Path 1 and got the bad ending, and now we're back in Meteo so we can start off Path 2 proper. Now, technically speaking, you'd start back at Corneria, and you could even get to Path 2 by getting the accomplished ending in that stage, but to show off every exit in every stage, I feel this is the best way to start off Path 2 so we can see the alternate exit to Meteo. And to get to that, you need to get most of the way through the stage, I think roughly at least the 70 to 80% mark. Because it's time for us to use the only other warp in the game. We used the first one back in Sector X, but you might remember during the last portion of the stage or so, before the Meteor Crusher, I think it was called, we saw those blue rings. That is our goal in this stage. Also, I should note, in order to get a medal on this stage, you need to get at least a score of, I believe, 200? Either way, here's the blue rings in question. When you enter one, you need to then enter the next ones all in sequence in order to access the warp. But as you can see, as you get through them, you start spinning faster and faster, but you also start moving faster and faster, and it's really hard to control. That warp is... I'd say it's easier to get than the warp in Sector X, but only because you don't have to mash the button nearly as much in comparison. And now we're treated to the other warp segment, which is probably less dangerous than the one in Sector X, yeah, but I think this one also has a couple of enemies that can actually, you know, actively attack you, so I guess in that regard it can be more dangerous. Now, in the case you want to get to Path 2 the other way by going through Sector Y, you need to just not get the accomplished route in order to get to there. With that said, I think that's honestly the easier way to get there, honestly, because the Meteo warp can be rough, especially if you're new to the game. I think it took me like an hour to actually get right, and admittedly, you can retry courses if you've already completed them in Star Fox 64 along a certain route, and in the case you're along the Path 2 or Path 3 levels, before you go into them, you're actively given the option to swap to the lower difficulty level in the case you're feeling not up to the harder difficulty. With that said, I believe retrying a previous course does at least take a life from your life counter, so be careful there. The only real bonus that going this way has, outside of going an easier path at Corneria and technically an easier second level, is you get a lot more item pickups in that warp thanks to all the smart bombs and stuff that you saw there. So if anything, if you want to go into Path 2 and just blow shit up, which, you know, I understand, do that. But that now allows us to access the first proper level for Path 2, even though it's level 3, no matter what you do to get here. It's time for us to access Katina, one of my favorite levels if you're not going for a medal, at least. Oh, also, here is the menu I was talking about a moment ago.
Katina is battling the enemy. Will you help him out?
Affirmative, General.
Good luck.
Hang on, guys. Help is on the way. Fox, you made it. Bill, is that you? I can't believe it. We can catch up later, Fox.
Hard to tell the good guys from the bad.
And what Slippy just mentioned there is a very notable problem here in Katina. It's just a straight-up dogfight level for the first half before Phase 2 starts. And there are active ally Bulldog troops flying around in the sky in the same ship type as Bill. but they're really easy to hit if you're not doing charge shots. Thankfully, there's no repercussions to taking them out, be it to the actual mission accomplished versus complete state, or to your point tally, but you feel bad, you know? And I don't think they can actively take out enemies nearly as effectively as the Star Fox. You just only need to worry about them taking out the enemies you need for the medal score in this stage, which I believe is 150-ish, somewhere abouts. Now, we have a Mothership approaching from the bottom left. That is, by and large, the boss for the stage. It's also the major mechanic of the stage. From here, getting the medal in this stage can technically be easy, in that you're going to have a lot of enemies to fight. You just need to hope you can do it in a short enough period of time. More on that once this Mothership has its threatening intro cutscene.
There's one down. Here they come! Go for the 4 hatches on the underside!
What Bill just mentioned is the way you actively need to damage the Mothership. Every time you take out enough of the general ships flying about, the 4 hatches on the underside of this ship will open, and they're what you need to shoot in order to make the main target of this thing vulnerable. With that said, this is also your time to completely farm out kills if you need to, so do it now. Because the hatches themselves can take some pretty good punishment, and they do a good job of alerting you when they're actively available to be shot. So if you're just trying to speedrun through the stage, they got you handled in that regard. But, gee, giant round Mothership with a bunch of alien and allied ships flying underneath it in a giant dogfight over a notable base with a character named Bill Gray in it. I wonder if Independence Day came out almost a year before this. Gee, I think it might just be a coincidence. Now, the thing is, the hatches are easy to take out, but they're very repetitive. So we're going to be speeding up a majority of this stage just to keep it relatively in quick pace, because it's the exact same thing over and over again. Though, admittedly, I will applaud them with this. They masked the Independence Day reference on Bill a little bit, because his character's name is a combination of Bill Pullman, and I believe the character that actor played in Independence Day, I think that was the name of the president in that. Something Gray, because Bill's name is Bill Gray in this. It's been a while since I've watched that, because it's not exactly a movie I care to go watch.
There's some sort of energy reaction. The core has appeared. Stand by to attack.
It even has a giant laser core. Oh, we're back indeed. Now, the core is what you need to shoot in order to actually beat the stage, but you do have a time limit to do it. As is the case with every stage we've had a time limit thus far, this makes the difference between the mission complete and the mission accomplished version of this mission. If you defeat the core, you save the day completely, you go on to the next stage in Path 2, and it's a mission accomplished. If you don't destroy the core, well, things don't go so well for this base, and you get the mission complete.
Yeehaw! You did it! Take care, Fox. You too, Bill.
And that's the mission accomplished for Katina. Admittedly, the time constraint you have for destroying the core is a little bit tight, because I feel it does have a lot of HP, so if you don't have, like, the dual blasters, the fully upgraded laser, it can be a little bit annoying. But thankfully, we got through that in pretty quick straights there. So now, as for the mission complete, like I mentioned, you just need to fail the mission. Just wait for that timer to go out, and you got it. This will take you over to, I believe, Sector X instead of Solar. And admittedly, if you go to either of these two stages we're going to next through Katina, you get a minor difference in the stage we'll be talking about once we actually get into the stage itself. For right now, let's watch a giant explosion happen, because you know what? Even if it's against our own people, it's always kind of cool.
Fuck! Get out of here now! All aircraft break away! Dang! Don't get you down, Fox.
You know, not for nothing. That's one of my favorite songs in the game right there. The somber, downer version of the Star Fox theme. It's really nice. If only it didn't play when you completely messed up a mission objective. And yes, that takes us over to Sector X. So, that's Katina. It can be a little annoying, but I feel the time constraints can be easily mitigated as long as you did well to get to that stage beforehand with the dual blaster. With that, time to go back to Path 2 for the next stage, Solar.
That area's an oven. Don't go burning that R-wing. Be reasonable, Fox.
I'll be careful.
Good luck.
Keep an eye on your shield gauge. The R-wing might not make it.
This baby can take temperatures up to 9,000 degrees.
Don't fly too low. Your ship can't take it.
They just explained the mechanic for this stage pretty well. It's a giant sun we're next to. So if you get too low to the floor, your R-wing just starts taking continuous damage. Because that...
Looks like you could use some help, Fox. Still! Don't get too excited. Here we go.
And if you came to Solar through Katina, Bill even shows up to help. He also does similarly on the left path in Sector X, and even tries to help you open the warp. So technically that's an easier way to get to Sector Z. Not my favorite to do it, but... oh, well. I guess that is what Miyamoto does, at least. So, Solar, the best strategy is to just stick to the top of the screen. Destroy everything you can, because not only is it for your medal score, but a lot of enemies and hazards in this stage drop health rings so they can try to top you up. With that said, because your allies never grab health rings if there's any on screen, it's very easy to lose your allies here. Thankfully, the hot temperatures can never outright destroy an R-wing. You always need to take one final death blow. It basically leaves you at 1 HP. But that still is incredibly dangerous. With that said, if you want to get a medal in this stage, you're in luck. It's one of the easier ones to do it in because I think you only need like 100 points to get it, which, I'll take that. I call this one of the more dangerous stages, and it's entirely because of the main gimmick. Thankfully, though, in the case you lose allies here, they're not too useful in the upcoming stage in any way outside of one shot that Falco, of all people, can make, so I'm a little bit in trouble when it comes to that next stage. So, if they need to take a mission break to recoup before coming back in, you're going to be fine. Even no matter which of the final 2 levels you go into, be it Bolt's Outpost or Area 6, you're going to be relatively safe. With that said, a certain optical illusion has always been very apparent to me in this level where I can't tell if we're actively moving forward.
This is the enemy's bioweapon?
Because I feel we move at the exact same rate as the lava textures moving behind us. Alright though, now we're on to the boss. This is, I think Vulchine is its name. Take out its arms as it tries to swipe at you. It can vomit up rocks, you can destroy it for health. It can also try to go into the background to not only do a different version of the rock attack, but it can also swipe at the lava to cause some lava flows to jump at you specifically. Its most dangerous attack only really comes out when you take out both of its arms, in which case it'll use the lava melting out of its now destroyed arms and start spinning to try and throw that into you. And admittedly, avoiding that attack is a little bit complicated because there's just a lot of hitboxes on screen. With that said, especially if you have dual lasers, this thing doesn't have much HP to back up its potential annoyance. I do like its design a lot, though. It's probably one of my favorite boss designs in the game. I don't know why, I just like the shapes it has.
Yippee! You did it!
All aircraft report.
I'm fine, I'm fine.
I saw my life flash before my eyes. Falco ship is in the docking bay.
Solo can be a dangerous level, but it almost feels like it's more so that for anyone that's not Fox, because Falco and Peppy get really rambunctious when it comes to losing their HP here. The boss itself, not too much of a problem, though. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 5, if memory serves, we're actually going to be ending off Path 2 at the next level, because at that point, we're taking either to bolster the other final penultimate level, and I'm not showing off Venom on Path 2. It's just redundant at that point. See you guys then.